Okay.
Or
Yeah, I'll send a link too.
I'm already following. Strange.
Well, you never know. Give me 1 second. Let me do a little test record real fast before we go any further.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all want to say test or something? Dr. Schmores,
Test test.
no.
We got Dr. S'mores in the chat. Hello.
Oh, hello. All right.
Yo, s'mores.
All right. 1 second.
We can't hear you.
Can you hear them? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I can hear everybody.
Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on.
Okay. Well, that's good. As long as Dr. Schmores can hear everybody, we're good. But thank you for everybody joining us tonight. This is my first attempt at maybe doing this. So, hey, that's not funny, Schmores. But we'll go ahead and we'll start with the introduction. So, Ghost or Shinchan, whichever one of y'all wants to go first.
Shinchi, you can go first. Go ahead.
All right, cool. I'm Shinchie. I just play Samurai Showdown all day. Go on Twitter. I'll retweet Aroha pics, and that's about it.
Hi. Everybody knows me as Ghost or Ghost to Trinity or DTN Ghost to Trinity. I am a Sam Show / Guilty Gear tournament player, and yeah.
Well, for some of y'all that are remotely interested, I am Mr. PhD Jeshua. I play Sam Show and a few other things here and there. Maybe the occasional retweeter of not some safe for work stuff, like the PlayStation 5 being $699.99. Oof,
Jesus.
to the wallet. Alright, but now our main talking points for today, or the main subject, is community communication, which I think a lot of you have seen over the past, we'll say like 7 years, if not more, how people get lost in social media and such, and well, deal with unruly community members within. So we're gonna dive into this and see if we can hopefully maybe give some solutions to help people local and for online events. If not, we'll just have a good old time trying anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a few things to say about this situation.
Uh-oh.
All
right, let's not poke the bear too much. But just for those that are tuning in, for those that I want this to be very clear. The way I'm doing this podcast is pretty much kind of like how Joe Rogan would probably do it. This is open. This is open. So anything kind of goes for the most part.
And Joe Rogan is very good. Very good.
Yes, I know. I love.
Yeah, that's the best inspiration.
Yeah, I like listening to his stuff.
It's always hilarious when he gets that when his buddy Alex Jones on. I miss Alex Jones being on Twitter. He was so funny. I miss the memes. Anyways, all right. The first talking point we want to try to hit with, and I think is the biggest one that I see on every social media, because I'm going to use the example of everybody knows this person, Low Tier God. Yes, everybody's like the unruly person of them all. But I mean, I've seen where, because of current events, people have flown off the handlebar, so to speak, and have tried to cancel each other and not find give each other the common courtesy to find common ground on certain issues. I've even seen where people yesterday, they were literally, everyone was confused at what Harada was talking about when it was a very weird communication thing. I think it may have been a mistranslation just because of like what they may refer to as rollback versus what people, just give or take what a translation wise, Japanese words kind of mean like several things, so give or take translation wise, kind of got lost in there somewhere. But Ghost, go ahead with yours.
So if we're talking about the LTG thing, well, so first thing is I believe a lot of people wait for things to happen. Like there was a situation where a girl said that she gets harassed a lot at events and stuff. and she prefers to put it on Twitter than actually going to a TO and stuff. My only thing is I don't think people should be waiting to speak out. Right? I think you should speak out immediately. Right? Let it go up the chain. Let it tell somebody. Don't just wait. That's really it.
Hello?
Yeah, oh, hello.
Like I don't really think that it helps that you get harassed at events and then wait several weeks later to complain about it on Twitter. I think it's best to tell somebody, right? Closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah,
Definitely agree.
It's really best to like handle the situation like right then and there, so like everything can get resolved regarding that. Like if a specific person needs to be banned, then they will be banned and things like that. You know what I mean?
Even if you're scared, right? Tell somebody you're comfortable with. Tell somebody,
Yeah, exactly.
Tell your friend that you've known for a long time, and then they can do it for you. I mean, there's really no reason to be scared, honestly. But yeah,
I can get with some situations where it's like harder for someone to come out with it, but like again, as long as you're telling someone that's like trusted that you can like give those details to, then like I think as quickly as you can, so like something gets done about like the thing going on or happened to you.
I think a good example I can give on this is due to current events. So now I'm a TO for some that might not know. Now I didn't go into full detail on my full opinions on a lot of the situations, but I did retweet some things that I did find some of the videos like where people are just doing things that shouldn't be done. And then I mean, on both sides. And then the other TO, he comes to me, and he was ready just to lay me off the TO board, and I'm like, okay, because I've told him this, that always, like, whenever you, because of how social media is nowadays, you always, I'm not saying you have to tread around the eggshells, but you do have to be careful at times because of it's too easy for people just to mistake
actually,
things.
no, I disagree. I think you should. I think you do have to tread around eggshells because people are sensitive.
No, that's what I'm saying.
People,
You do have to tread. Sorry if I
yeah,
missed.
yeah, people are very, very sensitive, especially when it comes to Twitter, especially when it comes to talking out in general. People are super sensitive when it comes to certain things. And people take things the wrong way very quickly, right? It's easy for someone to be like, "Oh, you did something wrong," or "You said something wrong to me," and you don't even know that you said something wrong to them, right? You could have just been saying something that in your head, like, "Oh, okay, this is not that right," I could just say it, right? And then they're like, "Fuck, what's wrong with this dude?" Right? Sorry to curse. What's wrong with this
You're
dude?
good.
Like, he's weird. Right? It's very easy to say something, right? It's no different from being really nice to a girl, and the girl says, "Oh, he's hitting on me." Right? He's like, "I'm just being nice to you." Right? There's a lot of issues amongst the FGC that I see people get. Just not too long ago, someone got banned for telling a trans person no. Right? Like the trans liked him, and he said no, and she called him a homophobe. And immediately he was banned from tournaments. It's pretty bad, right? Like
Oh damn, I didn't hear about that. Whoa.
yeah.
That was that one's new to me. But then
Notable
again,
player, notable person known as Dine, right? I guess I didn't really want to name drop him, but
oh, you're fine.
the story is that someone liked him, right? I won't drop that name, but
Fine.
someone liked him, and he said no apparently, and all hell broke loose from there, and he is now currently banned from specific tournaments.
Mm.
So
Well, I'll
just
definitely
because of this situation. So
I'll definitely have to look into that one. There's it's definitely a
I mean, apparently they went out and was like, he says air quotes homophobe comments, but when it was looked deep into, it was really just his opinion. It wasn't really him slandering trans or anything. It was really just him giving an opinion. Like, I have no interest in them or whatever, and he was banned.
So he was basically just like saying like
To cut it short, yes,
was
he was
not-
saying
yeah,
that he doesn't have any interest in them, and he doesn't
Yeah.
want to be a part of it, and the community went ham, right?
It,
Oh.
it is a bit sad that people do that nowadays. Certain matters should be, as you said, as that example, and I'll just defer back to the example I was giving. Me and the other TO, we spoke in private. We explained each other's side of the stories, beliefs, and all that, and we were cool after that. Now the guy did apologize because he wasn't flying off the handlebars, but he's about to make a very rash decision without consulting, because we do have a little we do follow, I guess, what you would call, please forgive me because I'm going to refer to back in the days when back in high school, parliament procedures or whatever, like everybody does the little voting or whatever, this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
But it is definitely an inherent problem, not even with just in the FGC, the gaming community, that you can easily just be wrote off, just completely wrote off if you say something wrong, or not saying something wrong, but you say something one way and someone just completely twists it and goes the other way. And that's why I try to always tell this to people when it comes to with social media and on social media at times, is take a few moments, maybe not try to read too deep into it, and if it really is bothering you, talk to them. The ultimate thing is to talk to them. But if you don't agree with them, the simplest thing to do is hit that block button or mute button. But now, if someone's completely harassing you and all this and that, yeah, definitely start reporting or talk to somebody about it, because a lot of the online bullying is definitely unnecessary, considering some of the situations I've seen over the years.
I mean, I think everyone's entitled to their opinion, but it's so one-sided for men, especially in FGC. Granted, there is more men in FGC than more women in FGC. I still think that it's very easy, especially with the no tolerance thing, right?
Oh, I
It's
agree.
very easy. It's simple to say you give a hug to a woman, right?
Right.
That woman says a day later she gets into an argument with you. And this is just an example. I'm assuming it's never happened. She says, "This guy's been harassing me. He sexually touched me." And you're like, "I thought she was my friend. I hugged her, right?" And immediately you're banned, right? Because the TOs and the heads of the tournament has to cater to the woman, right? It looks really bad on your business if you don't at least have something done. Right? So you get rid of the middleman, you get rid of the individual, right? You don't really know if this guy's been doing. Okay, so here's a good thing, right? It's a little different. I got into a fight. CEO Taku. I got into a big fight. 2019, I got into a large fight. It was a slander thing. The individual was slandering at the time I was on PAG. He was slandering my teammate who was trans. He was saying, "Oh, I don't want to sleep in the bed with that person because we were sharing the room. It was two beds. Oh, they might touch me. I don't want to be touched. I'm not into that stuff." So we're all like, "Hey, look, like she's not gonna touch you, right? Like it's not. That's not gonna happen, right? We're just here to have fun, and we're here to just play our games or whatever." He wasn't really a tournament player. He was a vendor.
Ah,
So he sold stuff, but he needed a place to sleep so he can sell his things. And we put on Twitter like, "Hey, look, does anybody need a room to stay in?" He wouldn't stop though. He kept doing it. He kept doing it. He kept doing it. So nobody wasn't saying anything, right? He was just doing it. So I jumped in, right? I said, "How would you feel, right? You're Mexican. I told you, hey, my mom needs her grass cut. How'd you like that?" He immediately got angry. Like, "Oh, you're disrespectful, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "But you're sitting here like basically going ham on her about her being trans, right? You can't do that. You see how that hurt you? Like you can't do that. And immediately a big fight uproared, and like I didn't get banned, but I almost did, and they banned him immediately, right? But they didn't really know that a fight happened or not, right? They really just said, okay, you got into a fight. I heard both sides of the story. I just banned the worst case scenario, right? Just imagine if it was a woman, though. Like just imagine if this was a woman. I probably would not have been able to continue playing. I'm just, I don't know. It's just really one-sided.
That's the thing is, people really have like knee-jerk reactions to a lot of like situations like that. When like you really need to just like wait it out, hear both sides, and let it like, just kind of sit for a little bit before you come to a conclusion. Like,
My point is, my point was that some people don't hear both sides, right?
yeah, I'm agreeing with that.
Like if a woman says that dude touched me, and she's hysterical about it, let's just say she's just being an asshole, right? Let's say you didn't do anything. Oh, that person touched me because she doesn't like you, right? Then you get banned, right? And you're like, and then everyone goes ham on you on Twitter. Everybody goes ham on you on social media. You're known as this sexual predator, right? Like you're like, no one's hearing my side of the story, right? No one is listening to me. What about me? Oh, I think it really should be like something for that. There should be a change in that.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, go ahead.
It's especially like I think it's especially easier for people to do that because like just like the thing with social media, Twitter and shit, where it's just like you have instant access to say whatever you want, and then like as soon as you get the knee-jerk reaction, it's like instant. Like you just instantly can go off the rails with it, and like
so that's why I don't talk about certain things on my streams. I don't talk about like religion. I don't talk about trans rights. I don't talk about certain things on my stream because people will cancel you immediately, right? Like, oh, this guy is an asshole. This guy is so one-sided for your opinion.
Like I'll post political things on my Twitter from time to time, but like I don't immediately dislike someone for disagreeing unless it's like something like extremely like heinous, you know what I mean? Like
oh man,
awful.
The current events that's going on right now, I voiced my opinion about it, and boy, did I lose some followers. Boy, did I lose some followers for it, especially like.
I think everyone's losing some followers somehow.
Like
from that.
I think I ended up like losing 6, but it doesn't really matter. It's like if you can't handle the opinion, I mean, whether it being right or wrong, I mean, it's you were entitled to your opinion. That's what is so great about the First Amendment. Everybody's allowed to say what they say, even though varying consequences may come from whatever you may say within legal reasons. I'm watching you Twitch with your DMCAs and all that. But here's the thing. When I believe it was earlier in the year before COVID-19, it was just right around when COVID-19 was hitting. It was starting to really go around. Everybody had to stay home. It was, I cannot think of the players. It was 2 players. Oh, no. I exactly know who it is. And I'm not saying their names. Well, technically, you mentioned one. But one got banned. Doesn't affect him one bit. Because he was already previously disliked person throughout the whole FGC already because of his attitude. Most people know who I'm probably talking about. But
LTG?
Damn it. Try not to say names.
Well, I mean, he's a public figure already, so.
Well, I mean, everybody's a public figure, and I believe, and
are we talking about the LTG versus
Cereoblast, because it goes
Cereoblast.
It goes into a an interesting topic for like how the community should deal with something, but I don't know if we should have like some grand poobah council do this. Because
no, I'm I'm happy the way it was solved.
It was solved in a way, but what I'm scared though, because both parties were guilty of what they did, and were given bans. Some were given lifetime bans, and I'm like,
No. So
no, correct me
they
if I'm
weren't.
wrong.
They were not given lifetime bans. They were banned for a year.
Oh, okay, not the worst
So they
thing
will
in the
be.
world.
The thing is, but the thing is though, it's more. It's a much worse cost for Zero Blast than it is LTG. Right?
Right.
LTG doesn't really go to tournaments, and Zero Blast does. Now, Zero Blast is looking to get sponsored and stuff like that, and it looks really bad, right? Because number one, Zero Blast is throwing around the N word, right? That's a no go.
Yep.
No-go. It's already a no go, right? And
Yeah.
LTG is throwing out trans stuff, right? And that is a no go currently in this time, right? So they both were banned equally for a year, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is that this benefits LTG more because he doesn't have to go to tournaments. He doesn't care to go to tournaments, right? He still streams. He's still on YouTube. He still makes money. Still lives his daily life. Doesn't really care, right? He even made it in a statement. He said, "I don't care that I really got banned. Right? It's not a big deal to me." Right? Now, Sarah Blast on the other side is a different story. Right? It's really bad because she wants to get sponsored. Right? She wants to go to tournaments. Right? She's banned from Capcom Cup. Right? For a year. Right? She can't go to any tournaments for the year. Right? That's any Street Fighter based tournament she cannot go to.
Well, that's sanctioned by Capcom, anyways.
Yeah, at least sanctioned by Capcom. Yeah.
She definitely lit the powder keg, and it blew up the whole room on that situation.
Actually, what makes this so good is that originally, only LTG got banned. That is a nutty part. But then somebody said, that's not fair, because Zero Blast says the N-word. All right? If you're gonna ban SOG for trans, for being wrong to trans, ban Zero Blast for going around saying the N-word, the hard ER N-word on top of that. Right?
Yeah.
The hard R.
So then people were like, you know what? You're right. We'll do this 5-5. So we banned both of them. And I think that is great, right? I think that's great because they both did something wrong, right? It wasn't only if LTG was the only person getting banned. I mean, then I went on and tried to what's his name ban also, which that's not happening. What is his name? James Chen. Apparently James Chen used the N-word also, and
there was a couple other times. Chris G, I think and
there was a
Justin
whole thing.
Wong. Actually,
there was a
times.
whole thing I remember where
like twice,
people were
James 10.
People were like digging up, like after the LTG like got banned part, people were digging up like a bunch of stuff that many people like Justin Wong and stuff said. I remember like a lot of stuff.
This is society though. This is expected. Look what they did. Bill Cosby, right? Let's name that. All right. Bill Cosby got what happened like years ago. Hey, and he went to prison for something that happened when he was in his
30s. I think.
Yeah, it happened like the 80s, something like that.
Yeah, it happened in like 60s.
What about now, right? What about now? The black guy got arrested.
Yeah.
The black guy died, and they want all the police to be arrested now. I'm talking people who have died years ago, right, from a cop. They got something done to them too, right? This is just society, right? It's like a chain reaction.
It definitely does stem to where, at some point, I told people social media is definitely a double-edged sword. Or there was another phrase, the sword of Damocles that hangs over you, and at any point in time it will fall. But what doesn't help is social media. Because of our baser instinct, so to speak, of the need of fulfillment to a point. Guess what social media does? It adds fulfillment at the basic level, in the worst way possible. What you should feel great for is like, all right, I've finally spent 20 hours on this blasted combo. Now I can do it on stage in front of everybody and not worry about it. Or I spent 3 years coding something of a personal project and it's finally done. Now everybody gets a frame data app. or a free calculator for, like, say if you play Magic the Gathering or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
something along those lines. But it's there's definitely and and on the thing where people are digging up things now, like say someone dug up something on me from 5 years ago. Am I that same person 5 years ago? That that
No, but
no.
you will be.
Yeah.
So there's a thing. There's a thing. This is solely with women too, right? You can do 100 good things, and then you do one wrong thing, and you're the worst person in the world, right? Same thing with society, right? They could be like, you can top 20, and this happened to Daigo. Daigo topped we all know who Daigo is here.
Yeah.
Multiple tournaments,
Yeah, he's the legend.
world class player. Then they didn't top a few tournaments. He's washed up all of a sudden. He's washed up. Can't get out of bracket anymore. He's too old. It's like, doesn't matter if he can't come out. He's human, right? Someone's gonna beat him eventually. So he didn't come out of tournament. He didn't come out of bracket this one. What about the 90 other times he came out of bracket, right? Nobody wants to remember that stuff, right? But people want to remember the one time you mess up, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh yeah.
oh, I've donated thousands of dollars to the community, or I've helped out tons of people come up with whatever, right? But then one time you mess up, you're the worst person. Now I'm not saying you should get a buy, as far as like if you mess up, like let's say, somebody messes up on your stream, like even Maximilian, right? He said the word nigger on his stream too,
Oh, I'm being
Right?
canceled with Twitch now.
right?
Well, the
Yeah.
thing is when he was doing it, like I watch Maximilian
a
all the
mistake.
time.
It was a mistake. It was a mistake when he did it.
Well, I mean,
It was a
he's
huge
rambling
mistake.
off a bunch of words, and it's like ninja. It's ninja.
Ninja-
I've almost
ninja-
said it. I almost,
nigger.
it's like
Nigger dagger,
ginger,
right?
ginger
Yeah.
dagger. He was saying off a bunch of things, and it's not hard to make those mistakes because some people will say them out of frustration. I mean, good lord, we could use PewDiePie as the biggest example I've ever seen, as how many people try to cancel him at different various times. But that man's like still going. Even got to deal with YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, because
Yeah.
some people don't forget the good that you've done. That's why some people like, well, let's give this person a chance, right? Do I believe in chances? It depends on what is being done, right? If you murder someone, you don't deserve any chance at all. You take a life, whatever. But I do believe if it's something as subtle as, maybe saying the N-word once in your life or something like that, like I think chances should be done. A warning, right?
I
You know,
believe in the 3-strike rule. 3 strikes, you're out. Maybe that's
I
me just
be-
being
I
too
believe
generous.
I believe that for certain things. But when you give people multiple chances at something, they'll take it, right?
yeah.
Oh, all right, PhD, you believe in 3 strikes, so I'll backstab you twice. No problem. Right? So I'll rob you of your money the first time, and then I'll probably beat you up a second time. You'll forgive me because you believe in 3 strikes. Hey, PhD, I'm sorry for robbing you, and I'm sorry for beating you up. Let's just be friends. Right?
Oh no, the
I have
first
one more
time.
chance. Yeah, you see?
Oh no, no. Well, it's like
Yeah,
you're saying robbing. I mean, we're
it's pretty
talking about like
contextual.
name calling or something here. You try to rob me, you
What I'm
better.
talking about, what I mean by robbing, right? I
if
don't
you're
mean
trying
as
to
in
rob
like
me, you better knock me out. If not, you're going on the ground.
as your friend, right? Like as your friend, I come to your house and I like take
Eat all
$20
my
from you,
food.
right? Yeah, I take $20, or I go in your fridge, eat. I don't know if you have children, eat your children's food, right? Like just flat out disrespect, right?
Right.
Some people are like non-tolerant. It's like I'm definitely non-tolerant of that, right? You eat my daughter's food, I'm not okay with it. You're gonna buy it back, right? I'm not okay with this, right? Some people are just like, you know what? It was a mistake. It's okay, right? No, I don't want to give you the option to do it again, right? So there's no 3 strikes you're out. It's you do it once and that's it, right? Some people like you cross me one time and that's it, right? Like there's just no more, right? So I don't think the 3 strikes thing is.
It's very light because I deal with. Long story short, I work in the grocery business, so
Mhm.
I deal with petty theft all the time. It may vary to what it is, and most of the time, when it comes to because depending on this, because you have to handle every situation very delicately to a point, because you never know when someone's gonna run out the door, or you have the circumstances. Some old guy really needed medicine for his wife, couldn't get it. I'll be nice and pay it for him, send it on his way. But some little kid like sitting there trying to steal a candy bar, I'm gonna be like, look, bud, don't do this again. Don't let me catch you in here with this candy bar in your pocket again. Because next time,
But that's a scare tactic for the kid though. The kid's like, okay, mister, no problem, and he's scared because you can just, oh, next time you do that, you go to jail, even though you know they're not gonna go to jail because they're too young. You go to jail if you try stealing it again. You wanna, like, it's a scare tactic, right? And then it's like, I get what you're saying, where like somebody may need it than others, but doesn't make it right. Right? It doesn't make it right to go to a store and take, diapers, right, for your child, right? It may be right in society of somebody like he really needed it, right? And then it may be wrong, but like, no, it's still theft, right? It's there for a reason. You can't take diapers out of CVS and then when the police grab you, you're like, I needed it for my baby, right? Like, there's too many ways to get money, or there's too many ways to do these things, and you don't have to do wrong to do them.
right now, just to wrap this a little around a little bit, because I feel like we got off track a little bit. Now, since we've gave a lot of good examples of things that can go one way or the other because things are somewhat a bit one-sided, what are some things we can do, or at least advise people on, like, how to handle certain situations, at least so things don't go so one-sided and people get wiped off social media on one fell swoop?
Um, keep
I
it
said
off of.
this.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
that's
Vinny.
one thing. But like, I said this a bit earlier, where like, if it is a thing on like social media or something like that, or it's like even like a personal thing, I would say just like what I do is just like wait it out, hear both sides of it, and like obviously it depends on context. Like if there is like a lot of info that's just like, yeah, this person did a huge like problem here, then like, yeah, obviously. But if it's like a situation where there can be multiple sides, hear it out, even if you are leaning to one side, and just like think over it before coming to a conclusion, I would say.
Uh, my first thing is to keep it off of social media, unless something is not being done, right? Like, if you go to an event and you're being sexually harassed, right, and you tell somebody nothing's being done, and you see this person and it keeps happening, or that's when you can say, like, hey, look, I've been to the past 3 events, I was sexually harassed, and now I'm out here on Twitter. This person, name drop, keeps harassing me, and I need help, right? And then name drop TOs, name drop. But if something gets done right away, you don't need to put it on Twitter. You don't need to put it on Facebook. You just keep it to yourself, right? This happened. Keep it here. And I don't know if you guys remember something that happened with I believe it's TJ Tran.
I
remember
remember
that?
this.
I remember the name.
Yeah.
Was it this year or last year?
This happened, I think, this
Yeah,
year.
the name sounds familiar.
Yeah, she something happened with her and a guy, and at first it seemed one-sided. You had comments and everything, and then he dropped his screenshots. So now it was equal, right? He said, "No, I don't want to do this," and she wanted to have fun, and blah 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 blah. And then it blew up on Twitter, and then everybody was trying to pick sides and so forth and so on. And she was saying FGC guys are scumbags and da 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 da. Whatever. It didn't have to go that far. You can just say it didn't have to go on Twitter, right?
Yeah,
It could have been easily done in DMs between them, and then like, listen, I don't want to deal with you. Just leave me alone, and then end that, right? I don't know why people think the first thing to do is drop it on Twitter, right? Like, just keep it to yourself, right? And keep it amongst a certain party. So that's the only thing I can say as far as awareness wise. Not 30 people don't have to be involved in it for you to make a person look bad. If it got solved, you don't need to put it on Twitter still and say, 2 months ago, this happened to me, and even though it got solved, I'm still upset about it because I don't know, not enough has been done. It's like the person's already been banned. What more do you want to do? Right? You want people to go
Yeah.
ham on him and his DMs? You scumbag! Not worth it, right? Don't be a child.
I feel like that goes into like the ease of social media, because especially like when you get people where they make like false allegations and stuff like that,
Mhm.
they just want a mob on someone, and an easy way to get a mob is just to go on social media, basically, and say,
And you see it very often too. You see it very often, and I'll keep it in the FGC. You see it very often in the FGC when somebody messes up, right? Somebody notable posts something like, "Yeah, let's all just put out his stuff and we'll all go ham." It's like, why do I need 30 people in my DMs or adding me, calling me a scumbag? I already know I did wrong. I already got punished for it. Why are you guys doing this to me, right? Like, it's not
yeah,
a
especially if it's something that's like not even like too like out
Yeah,
there, like
I
if it,
didn't hurt anybody. I didn't rape anyone. All right, so
yeah,
I messed
yeah,
up.
exactly,
Right, I messed up. What? I grabbed ass. Right, or maybe I overstepped my boundaries and I fucked up. But I don't need 40 people to attack me. Right, the TO's already banned me from tournaments. They already said I'm not able to come back for several years or infinitely. My career is screwed, right? Do you really want to make it worse now? Like, you guys look horrible now, right? Like, I already feel like trash already, assuming that I have a heart, right? Like, I don't know what more do you want. And this is, I don't
yeah,
like, I get the point where FTC needs to band together. Not all the time. Not all the time.
yeah, like not everything needs like a 50-person like mob. Really, like that's just the thing. Like if it's something that can be resolved with like 3 people, then just let it be like that. Like if it's a huge issue that goes unresolved, then yeah, bring like the mob if it's unresolved and like it's huge. But you know,
Well, now that and I'm pretty much in agreement with the majority on y'all on this, and I guess if I can add to it, my brain will function at this moment, is that is as much as y'all have mentioned, is definitely keep it if possible, keep it between you and the perpetrator of you, and get a third party involved, which may be a TO or someone else, just whatever the situation might be. Get it resolved that way. If it doesn't, and nothing gets done with X amount of time, go get somebody.
Yeah, that's when you want to go to
Because you
Twitter.
don't want it to like, you don't want, I don't want to see something like, because I always hate seeing this, because I'm not to bring up current events or anything, but I saw something within current events. Oh, this happened like 3 months ago. And I'm like, who failed at reporting this? What happened? I want to know what's going on. Someone find out. Then you find
But
out someone covered it up, and it's like,
yeah,
well, yeah, that
like
happens too, right? That happens where it gets covered up or swept under the rug because it's somebody really notable or somebody really important, and I just know the right people to talk to be like, "Yo, man, this just happened," but you try to like get this, beneath the rug, like it happens, right? It happens in real life society, and it can happen in a
yeah,
small community like the FGC. It can happen, right? Is it right? No, it's not because you're not privileged, right? Because you're a top player doesn't make you privileged, right? But it doesn't matter who it is. It definitely should be, you know, handled well
right,
and professionally.
right. And no matter how much, whether big or small, no matter how much money you have, you try to keep something under the rug eventually. I mean, as you said earlier, Bill Cosby, the man that was like the father to America to a lot of people. Well, man, a lot of people very disappointed. And you see, eventually you face the music at some point.
yeah.
Yeah, it will. In the dark, it will always come to light eventually. It always eventually will get you in trouble if you're doing terrible things. Right? I
Yeah,
mean, if
like
if if Bill Cosby can go to jail for something that happened in the 80s, we're in
Technically, it was the 60s, if I remember.
see,
was
the
it the
60s. Yeah, the
60s?
60s. Yeah, it was way before I was born. I know that.
Sometimes I forget how old Bill Cosby actually is.
If something like that can if you can go to jail for something like that, just imagine trying to do something terrible in the FGC. And the FGC is a huge circle, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna get caught eventually.
I will.
Eventually, you're gonna screw up.
I will say this: after being years in the FGC, there, if you are not in certain circles, you're gonna get. If, as we said, you do one thing wrong, the crusade happens. I feel like I should have a button right now that has that. I need to add that to my stream deck for this.
Well, even if you're not in certain circles, you will get there. It's inevitable. It's like so to me, FGC is like high school
That's
or
the-
junior high school. You know how everybody has their clique,
Oh yeah.
right? The really smart guys, and then there's the cool guys, and then there's the jocks, and then there's the like everyone's hanging out in their own special area, and then there's the one guy that's sitting by himself, right? He's just kind of to himself, and then he wants to be cool with everyone because he sees everybody else, but he can't be because he's scared or he's not there yet. Eventually, it's so what I'm trying to say is, let's say there's a clique of top players. And you're not a top player. You drown in pools consistently, and nobody knows who you are. But then you find the game that you're really good at, and you start being really good at the game, and then you become a top player. All of a sudden, everybody knows you, right? It's human nature. This is enjoyable, right? People know me. I'm notable. People who usually don't talk to me now talk to me, right? This is great, right? Now you are in that clique, right? So now if that clique is not that great, and you join that clique, you're gonna be there now too. You kind of get drawn in, right? It's inevitable. I think this is inevitable for certain people.
I feel you need to quit reading my mind.
Mm, mm.
All right. Now, I think, does everybody feel like they've said everything they feel on this one talking point? I think I want
Yeah,
to
sure.
move forward.
Yeah, I believe that.
I can. I'm telling you, man. When I was on Painbot's stream, we talked for 3 hours. So he even
Yeah,
looked
I
weird.
remember
Well,
that.
I know you have the thing to run, and I'm not sure
10
what you may have
10
planned.
10 o'clock. Samurai Sparring is at 10 p.m.
Yeah, it's like 2 more hours.
But all right, the next talking point. All right, stupid notes, notepad. Come on, one program should not have an issue. It has an issue.
It's always like Notepad or Word. Like Word was fucking up for me real bad, like a few weeks ago or something.
Click, 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 click. Yeah, and we'll have this little thing sorted out. I hate Discord when it's like, here, find person's name with X numbers behind it. Oh, you mean go find it in this server? No, I said go find user, not a server or whatever someone posted in the server. All right, and I believe one of our other big talking points was, I guess, how to okay, here it was, how to promote the open discourse for just things in general, because I mean, not saying this is top player privilege or whatever to say, oh, I discovered. Well, we'll use an old game. It's probably one of my favorites is the Capcom versus SNK 2, where it was, I can't remember if it was the arcade version or it was the Dreamcast version that had that roll glitch in it. But one of them it allowed some characters to be a lot more playable. So it's like,
Yeah,
you're playing.
I've never played the Dreamcast version, so I
I've played both, but I don't remember which one it was.
Well, let's say, I mean, you can play Sagat, Blanca, some other character. There's like two of the top characters in that game. I played Sagat. I was a little kid at that point, but I kind of learned like, oh, what's this weird little rolling thing? I knew nothing that had to apply it or anything, but heard about it. But the thing is we do have people that hide tech or whatever. What is the scary thing is when someone does find like a devastating glitch or whatever. I've yet to ever seen anybody do anything in tournament. Like, we'll use this example: Street Fighter Cross Tekken. It was the PlayStation version because it had bad box art Mega Man. God, it was
Oh
hilarious
yeah,
character.
yeah. The time glitch. You're
No,
talking
no, no.
about.
He also had the float glitch too.
The float glitch also, yes, where he floated upwards. Yes.
Wait, in Cross Tekken?
Yeah.
Yes.
hmm
Oh, there's a certain I completely forget how you would do it now.
See, like, I refused to like play that as a kid when that came out because I was like a
It was,
die-hard Mega Man fan, and there was nothing coming out, and I saw the bad box art in Cross Tekken, and I got super pissed, so I didn't play it. So I don't know.
that was understandable, but the way it worked was it didn't matter what stage it was if I remember correctly, but Mega Man just go floating. All I had to do is like you just do about 20% on somebody, do it, float away. What you gonna do? You ain't coming up to me.
But it was banned though, so it doesn't matter.
True.
Yeah,
But
the PS3 characters are all banned, right?
But remember though, some people could you have to remember this. Regardless of it being someone could have discovered it and then a tournament allowed the characters to be played and then someone did.
Well, the tournament, you can allow the character, the glitches banned.
Well,
and if,
no, what I'm saying is when
Yeah.
the game started and like say it's day 2, someone's going to have a tournament on day 4. People are discovering tech and anything. You discover this weird little glitch. You don't tell anybody, you don't record it, you don't do anything. And then and this is I don't think this has ever happened, but say this scenario does happen. A TO sees that. A TO is going to be like DQ probably because of how broken that glitch is.
Yeah. You'll either depends on how far. So it depends on how far you are in bracket, because then they have to go with the assumption. How far have you gotten with this glitch? All right.
Past 20
How
matches.
Right, we're talking like you're in top 8 now, and they see the glitch. You're gonna get DQ'd, 100%, because they're gonna assume you probably got here because of the glitch. Right? Would it be okay if they ask people? I mean, people can lie with no footage. They can be like, yeah, he did, but they don't know if he did or not, right? So usually you don't DQ, right? Goodbye. There was tons of glitches in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Ultimate, right? There was tons of timeout glitches, right? But the only time they actually keep glitches is when it's really hard to do, right? When it's extreme, when it requires some serious execution to do, that's when they say, you know what, we're gonna keep this. This is okay.
Yeah.
But if it's really easy where everyone can do it, it's banned immediately.
Well,
And this is
all the
this is really good
Infinite
actually. Yeah, like infinites and stuff. Like Marvel 2 had some serious one frame infinites that if you could pull it off, then it was okay to go. You can do it, then that's fine. We'll because not everyone can do it. Right? It took a certain person to do it. Right? You had to have some serious execution and do some of the glitches that were inside of MVC2. Right? So, this ruling I think is good. But as far as glitches that like, time you out, where something happens where nobody has to touch anything and something happens, I think immediately you should be DQ'd or give a warning, assuming where your location is on the board.
Room. So I mean, this is where I guess where I was trying to go with this is like people hide tech or whatever. That's fine, but it's definitely like we're not back in the 1990s where I knew of this glitch, you didn't know about it. No, and the internet when no one was around to record it or whatever. So I mean, you could get away with robbery at that time now. But now it's where a game releases. It's not even sometimes not even less than like 5 hours. Some people find some dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Like because I don't when I lab normal stuff. I don't try to always lab these weird scenarios people find somehow. I don't know how you people do it at times. You lab monsters. I applaud y'all
People
every
just
time.
are good at experimenting with many things.
I swear Desk is Desk is the best. Like I remember seeing old Desk videos from Street Fighter 4. And
Yeah,
some of
Desk.
the combos he was doing.
Clayton's another person. He's a lab monster.
some of these combos these people are,
combo.
and I'm like,
It just some people are just good at understanding the game.
right,
People, some people, it's like no different from people who look at math and they're able to solve it immediately.
all right,
Right? Like it's some people. That's with anything, right? Some mechanics, math, programming, stuff like that. Some people are just good mentally. Like, oh, I know this. All right, done. Like, how? How did you do that? I don't know. I can just kind of, I'm just good at it, right? That's why. That's what. When it comes to fighting, that's what makes top player a top player,
right.
right? That's why Daigo and Tokido. If you watch some of like FGC Translate, which is what Daigo and Tokido and all of them are on,
Oh, I do all the time.
Oh yeah,
Great
that's the
stuff.
best channel.
when they talk and they talk about tech and they talk about playing on a mental level, some of the stuff you would never even think of. Like a long time ago, and it also helped me in Sam show. He's talking about combos that gives your opponent minuscule minuscule bar. Right? Imagine you're so in depth in this stuff that you're thinking about things that give your opponent minuscule meter. Right? Most players are not thinking about that. Right? Most players are like, "Oh, is he gonna jump up? Is he gonna go down? Or is he gonna go low?" They're talking about something completely like I've never heard that before. Right? So
I've seen, well, as you've specified, I've seen that done to me in certain games where it's like, oh, Sam shows like the best example, and I've learned to apply it now. I was like, all right, I need to make them waste their rage meter. All right, I'm just gonna wait it out. Just wait it out. Don't do any heavy. Heavy hits will add so much to that bar. Couple light hits, get away. Couple light hits, get away. Let them kill themselves. Just make sure they don't have too much bar or any bar at all. That's definitely, I mean, the meter management of you and your opponent go a long way. But learning to do both at the same time is not an easy thing to do in the very beginning. But
Wait,
go ahead.
well, yeah, it's because in like the very beginning, you're still learning like how the meter even works. There was even stuff like recently, like damn, I forget what. It was something with like unarmed attacks. Like we didn't even know about the meter until like a Japanese player posted about it on Twitter and stuff. Like there's still stuff about meter being discovered.
I think what's kind of hurting the game though is, I mean, the online and everything. But I guess I'll just my final thoughts on like open discourse. If you do find something or whatever it may be, doesn't matter. Just try to keep an open mind with it, because with certain things can be taken the wrong way, or something needs to be known because you don't want some weird glitch happening and then the system fries all of a sudden. I've seen that happen once.
Oh yeah,
But that was
like
on a computer though.
some communities are like really good about that. Like I look into the Smash community sometimes because that's where I used to be when I was like a younger like teenager and stuff. And like they have like a dedicated like rule committee, and they like look into like various glitches and stuff like that, and look at like, okay, that glitch is banned, but that one isn't, and stuff like that. And like I think like that's a really good thing because like if a lot of people have input on like certain things, they'll like actually like look into it, and like all tournaments will follow that rule set and stuff like that.
Oh, so they have the now. So I assume that would be a little, not a council. I keep thinking councils here. Like, so they
I think
have,
they call themselves a council actually. Something.
well,
It's
they
like the
do.
Smash Rule Council or something.
They do have some rule council. I don't know if they have one specific. I guess it covers all of that, and that kind of
Yeah.
that kind of goes back onto something else. I know because after the whole low tier god situation and Serial Blast, they were talking about doing something, and I'm very curious. Has anybody heard anything else about that?
I haven't looked into
no,
it since it happened.
no. if anything has happened, then most likely it's been kept between them.
We'll probably hear something. Probably.
Yeah, I don't think anything else has really happened outside of like private things regarding that.
We may hear something probably once the tournament start ramping back up. Uh,
Yeah,
I don't know for
because the thing is, like, when Zero Blast got banned, I was like, yep, that's the end of it. So
because I know a lot of some places are slowly opening up now. Georgia is definitely about to open up in July, but still social distancing and all that. But a lot of local businesses, some of the other nice spots in Georgia. One, if y'all ever get to check it out in Georgia, it's in Atlanta. I almost want to say Duluth, but I'll just tell you the business. It's 404 Esports. Great place. A little small, but great. Pretty much has every game. I want to say Iceman's in charge for Tekken mainly, for the Tekken house. If anybody enjoys
yeah,
Tekken or whatever. But I definitely give that place a try out if y'all ever get a chance to come out around here again. Any other final thoughts on that topic? For everybody, good.
Yeah, I'm fine pretty
yeah,
much.
we're going. Yeah,
Definitely. I guess I want to just maybe do this monthly, or we're gonna do this bi-weekly. Do you just want to keep it between us guys, or you want to? I'm trying to figure out if I should have it rotating door, or we just have like us three guys, because it's far because I was not completely sure at how this would go, if we were going to have good chemistry or not. So I was like, let's shoot in the dark and see how this goes. Went pretty well.
yeah, it went very well. We kept going off each other very well. I think like anything like goes is fine. Like have varying guests and stuff like that. Like I'd be down to appear a few times. Like
Whenever you need me, I'm here. Just let me know,
yeah,
Well,
and
how
I'm
about
down.
this then? Do y'all want to do this on a bi-weekly basis?
Yeah, I'm down.
yeah, sure,
All
I'd be
right.
down.
Now, what is a good date for everybody? What is usually just out of the week? That way, Thursdays are good for me. I'm not really doing anything except maybe grinding out stuff because I'm not streaming on Thursdays. Sundays are also a good day for me because I'm not really doing anything Sunday.
Sundays are good for me.
Yeah, any day's
Um,
really good for me.
Thursdays are not good for me. The only reason why, because the school's starting back up. I have my last semester coming up. So uh, I'll be in class Monday through Thursday, 5:45.
Oof.
Uh, so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday would be good. Um, and then usually I try to keep Mondays, Wednesdays, Tuesdays free, and Thursday, and sometimes Thursdays, because WNF is Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So just in case I make top 8, but that's 7 o'clock their time, 10 o'clock my time that they have this. And Thursdays
Yeah,
is DMV Bushido, and sometimes I usually stream Samurai Sparring after them, and they start at 7, and then Samurai Sparring is at 10. But just Sundays is fine. So let me know.
yeah, yeah. Sundays would be fine too. For
Yeah,
me,
Friday, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays are all okay for me.
All
yeah,
right. So, from let's see, this is Friday. So we will aim for the 21st.
yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah,
Now, I'm not. As far as for that
fine.
one, I think it would just be fun to tell embarrassing FGC stories. Because, oh boy, do I have some stories to tell.
Yeah. I have a few stories. I have a lot of them actually.
Oh,
See, I haven't been in I haven't been in like a local scene, so I don't really have much.
well,
But
this was like mainly traveling to tournaments. Like,
Yeah, same.
yeah,
I guess since he's trying to say that he doesn't really travel much to tournaments,
right.
so he doesn't
yeah.
have any. I
Well,
have a lot
I
because
haven't
obviously I travel to tournaments. Oh yeah.
I haven't even been in like a local since like when was it? 2015. So
well, you'll get some. You'll get here's the nice thing. You get to laugh at all the silliness probably me and Ghost have seen over the years. Then,
Yeah.
yeah, I get to sit back and provide my commentary. So
because I'll tell you this. I'll give a little spoiler. Final round. Every year in Atlanta, there's another convention that goes on, and God Almighty, the way people dress in that. Whew. But that's definitely for another time. But Ghost, Shin-Chan,
Yes, sir.
definitely thank you for joining me for this. It was definitely fun, and I hope what some people will learn from this and hopefully take something from our silly rambling.
It was a nice talk.
And I'm sure
It
some
was a
people,
good
go ahead.
chat.
Yeah,
It was
good.
it was a good chat.
Because I know it sounded like there was definitely some frustration. I think some people definitely wanted to get off their chests on this. And if anybody else wants to hop on this, let me know. I know I can have a revolving door for whatever topics. Most things are on the table. I'd like to at least try to keep it where it is at least there's a lesson to be learned from the podcast, and that's what I hope to achieve with this all. And I know the name it says PhD Court, but I just could not think of anything when I was trying to think of this. So I was looking at Google. I was like, wait, and I was looking at images of Sagat stage. I was like, screw it, we're gonna call this PhD Court for the heck of it instead of the King's Court. I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah. Name making's like the hardest thing. I feel you on that.
But all right, guys, you all have a good night. And chat.
Could you help me with this converter before I throw it out the window?
Oh,
'Cause,
I'm definitely helping you with that. I'm not kicking.
Okay.
I'm just ending the stream. But good night,
all
chat.
right.